Jake Miller sat in his backyard chair, looking up at the night sky. The stars were bright tonight in Denver. He liked coming out here after work. It helped him forget about his problems. His divorce had been final for 3 months now. The house felt too big and too quiet without Lisa. He worked as an engineer at an airplane company. Every day he fixed problems with engines and metal parts. It was good work, but sometimes he felt like something was missing from his life. Maybe that's why he spent so many nights out here, wondering what else was out there among the stars. Jake took a sip of his beer and leaned back in the chair. The night was warm for September. He had eaten a simple dinner and cleaned up the kitchen. Now he had nothing to do but think. That was dangerous these days. A bright light caught his eye. At first he thought it was a plane, but it moved wrong. It came down fast, then slowed down, then stopped in the air. Jake sat up straight. This was not normal. The light split into 2 smaller lights. They danced around each other in the sky, above his house. Jake rubbed his eyes. Maybe he was more tired than he thought. But when he looked again, the lights were still there. The 2 lights came down slowly. They landed in the empty field behind his house. Jake could see them clearly now. They were not lights at all. They were ships, small ships that glowed with a soft blue color. Jake's heart beat fast. He wanted to run inside and lock the door, but he also wanted to see what would happen. His engineer brain was curious. What kind of technology could make ships glow like that? 2 doors opened on the ships. Jake held his breath. 2 figures stepped out. They looked like people, but taller. Much taller. They walked toward his fence with smooth, easy steps. Jake stood up from his chair. His legs felt weak. The 2 figures stopped at his fence. Now he could see them better in the light from his porch. They were women. Or at least they looked like women. But their skin had a strange shine to it. It changed colors as they moved, from blue to silver and back again. Their hair was long and white, almost glowing. They wore clothes that looked like they were made of the same glowing material as their ships. "Hello, Jake Miller," said the taller one. Her voice was clear and calm. She spoke perfect English with no accent. Jake's mouth opened, but no words came out. How did she know his name? "Do not be afraid," said the other woman. She was shorter but still much taller than Jake. "We come in peace. We need to talk to you." "Who are you?" Jake finally managed to say. His voice sounded strange to his own ears. "I am Zara," said the taller woman. She had marks on her arms that looked like tattoos, but they glowed softly. "This is Luna. We are from a place very far from here." Luna stepped forward. She held a small device in her hands. It made soft beeping sounds. "The scans are correct, Zara. He is the one we seek." "Scans?" Jake asked. "What scans? What do you want with me?" Zara looked at Luna, then back at Jake. "We come from a world called Veltar. Our people are dying. Jake Miller, we need your help." "My help?" Jake laughed, but it didn't sound funny. "I'm just a guy who fixes airplane engines. I can't help anybody save a world." "You are wrong," Luna said. She looked at her device again. "You have something we need, something in your blood, in your genes, something that can save our people." Jake stepped back. This was getting too weird. "Look, I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you have the wrong person." "We do not make mistakes," Zara said. Her voice was kind but firm. "We have been searching for someone like you for many years. Our ships can scan entire planets from space. When we scanned Earth, your genetic pattern stood out like a bright light." "Genetic pattern?" Jake felt confused and scared. "What does that mean?" Luna put her device away and moved closer to the fence. "Our people are all very similar to each other. Too similar. For thousands of years we have made ourselves more perfect. But now we have a problem. Our children are not being born healthy. Most do not live long. Our race is ending." "But humans," Zara continued, "humans are different. You have chaos in your genes. Disorder. Things we removed from ourselves long ago. That chaos might save us." Jake looked from one woman to the other. They seemed serious. Their ships were real. Their strange, beautiful faces were real. But what they were saying sounded like science fiction. Even if that's true, Jake said. Why me? There are billions of people on Earth. Not all humans have the right pattern, Luna explained. Most have some of what we need, but not enough. You have more than anyone we have found. Your pattern is very rare. Jake sat back down in his chair. His legs felt weak again. Okay, let's say I believe you. What exactly are you asking me to do? Zara and Luna looked at each other. Some kind of silent communication passed between them. We want you to come with us, Zara said. To our world, to help us save our people. Come with. You? Jake's voice went high. Leave Earth forever? Not forever, Luna said quickly. Just long enough to help us understand how human genetics work, to help us find a way to fix our problem. And if I say no? Zara's face became sad. If you say no, our people will die. All of them. In maybe 50 years, there will be no more Veltarans in the universe. Jake felt a heavy weight in his chest. The responsibility they were putting on him was huge, but how could he trust these strange women? How did he know they were telling the truth? I need time to think, he said. We do not have much time, Zara said. Our ships can only stay hidden for so long. Your government has machines that might find us. How long? Jake asked. 1 hour, Luna said. Then we must leave. With or without you. Jake looked up at the stars again. An hour ago, his biggest problem was being lonely. Now 2 alien women wanted to take him away to save their entire race. Can I see inside your ships? He asked. Can you prove what you're telling me is real? Zara smiled. It was the first time Jake had seen either of them smile. Her face became even more beautiful. Yes, she said. Come. We will show you wonders beyond your dreams. Jake walked toward the fence. His rational mind told him this was crazy, but his heart told him this might be the adventure he had been looking for all his life. Maybe this was why he felt so empty lately. Maybe he was meant for something bigger than fixing engines and sitting alone in his backyard. As he climbed over the fence, Jake wondered if he would ever see Earth again. But for the first time in months, he felt truly alive. Jake followed Zara and Luna across the field to their ships. The grass felt wet under his feet. His heart was beating so fast he could hear it in his ears. This was either the most amazing thing that had ever happened to him, or he was having some kind of breakdown. The ships were even more beautiful up close. They looked like they were grown instead of built. The surface was smooth and warm to touch. Patterns of light moved under the skin like flowing water. How do they fly? Jake asked. His engineer mind couldn't help itself. They do not fly, Luna said. They move through space by bending it, like making a fold in a piece of paper. Jake touched the ship's surface. It felt alive somehow. This is incredible. What's it made of? A living metal, Zara explained. It grows and heals itself. It learns from each journey. A section of the ship's wall became clear like glass. Jake could see inside. The interior glowed with soft light. There were no hard edges anywhere. Everything curved and flowed like it was part of nature. Come inside, Zara said. But we must be quick. Your hour is passing. Jake stepped through the opening. The inside of the ship was warm and peaceful. He felt like he was inside a giant seashell. The walls showed moving pictures of stars and planets. Sit here, Luna said, pointing to something that looked like a chair made of soft light. We need to show you something important. Jake sat down. The chair molded itself to fit his body perfectly. It was the most comfortable thing he had ever felt. Zara touched a panel on the wall. The space around them changed. Suddenly, they were not in a ship anymore. They were floating in space, looking down at a beautiful blue-green planet. This is Veltar, Zara said. Our home. Jake could see cities that floated in the air, connected by bridges of light. Gardens hung in space around tall crystal towers. It was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. It's amazing, Jake whispered. How many people live there? Not many, Luna said sadly. Once there were millions. Now there are less than 100,000. The image changed. Now Jake could see inside one of the cities. The buildings were empty. The few people he saw looked tired and sad. Many walked alone. This is what happens when a race becomes too perfect, Zara explained. We removed all the things we thought were flaws: disease, aging, genetic variety. But those flaws were important. They kept us strong. I still don't understand how. I can help, Jake said. I'm not a scientist. I don't know anything about genetics. You do not need to know, Luna said. You just need to be yourself. Your human genes have the chaos we lost, the unpredictable elements that create new possibilities. The image changed. Again. Now Jake saw a laboratory with Velterran scientists working with strange machines. We have been trying to fix our problem for 50 years, Zara said. We have made no progress, but when we study human genetic patterns, we see hope. Why can't you just take some of my blood and study it here? Jake asked. It is not that simple, Luna said. We need to understand how human genetics work with ours. We need someone who can help us learn and adapt. Jake felt overwhelmed. The responsibility was huge, but looking at the empty cities and sad faces of the Velterran people, he felt something in his chest, a need to help. What would happen to me there? He asked. Would I be like a prisoner? No, Zara said quickly. You would be honored, respected. You would help save an entire race. There is no greater honor in our culture. And you said it wouldn't be forever? That is correct, Luna said. Once we understand how to use what you can teach us, you could return to Earth if you wish. Jake closed his eyes. The smart thing would be to say no, to go back to his house and his normal life. But his normal life felt so empty. Here was a chance to do something that really mattered. How do I know you're telling the truth? He asked. How do I know you won't hurt me? Zara and Luna looked at each other. Then Zara did something Jake didn't expect. She knelt down in front of his chair. In our culture, she said, when we ask for something important, we show respect this way. I am asking you, Jake Miller of Earth, to help save my people. I promise on my life and my honor that no harm will come to you. Luna knelt down too. I make the same promise. You will be safe with us. Jake looked at these two beautiful alien women kneeling before him. A few hours ago he had been alone and forgotten. Now he might be the key to saving an entire civilization. What about my job? My house? People will wonder what happened to me. We can make it look like you went away on a trip, Luna said. Time moves differently between our worlds. A year on Veltar is only a few months on Earth. Jake thought about his empty house, his job that paid the bills but didn't excite him, his ex-wife who had left because she said he was boring. Maybe this was his chance to be something more. If I go with you, he said, what exactly would I have to do? Work with our scientists, Zara said. Help them understand human biology. Allow them to study your genetic patterns. Perhaps help some of our women have healthy children. Help them have children? Jake's face got red. You mean, not in the way you think, Luna said quickly. Our reproduction is different from yours. More like sharing genetic information than physical contact. Though, she looked at Zara. Our bonding customs are different too. Bonding customs. Among our people, Zara explained, when someone helps save the race, they become bonded to those they help. It is an honor, a joining of lives and purposes. Jake felt confused. Bonded how? Like marriage, Luna said, but deeper. A sharing of minds and hearts. Jake's mouth fell open. You're asking me to marry you, both of you? Only if you choose to, Zara said. It is not required, but it is traditional when someone gives such a great gift to our people. Jake stood up from the chair. This was getting more complicated by the minute. I need to think. This is all happening too fast. The ship suddenly made a soft chiming sound. Luna looked worried. We have been detected, she said. Your military planes are coming. We must leave now. Now, Jake said. But I haven't decided yet. You must decide now, Zara said. She stood up and touched his arm. Come with us, Jake. Miller, Help us save our people. Have an adventure beyond anything Earth could give you." Jake looked around the amazing ship. He thought about his empty house and his boring job. He thought about the sad faces of the Veltaran people. He thought about the possibility of being bonded to these two incredible women. "If I don't like it there, can I really come back?" "Yes," both women said together. Jake took a deep breath. Maybe he was crazy. Maybe this was the biggest mistake of his life, but maybe it was also the best decision he would ever make. "Okay," he said. "I'll come." "With you?" Zara and Luna smiled. Their faces lit up with joy and relief. "You will not regret this," Zara said. The ship began to rise. Through the clear walls, Jake could see his house getting smaller below. He was leaving everything he had ever known. But, for the first time in years, he felt like he was heading toward something wonderful, instead of running away from something painful. As Earth fell away beneath them, Jake wondered what his new life would be like among the stars. The journey to Veltar took 3 days. Jake spent most of the time staring out at space through the ship's clear walls. He had never imagined how beautiful the universe could be. Stars, planets, and colorful clouds of gas stretched in every direction. Zara and Luna taught him basic words in their language. They also explained more about their culture. Jake learned that Veltaran women made most of the important decisions. Men were respected but rare, since so few male children survived to adulthood. On Earth, men and women are mostly equal, Jake told them. "We both work, both make decisions." "That sounds wise," Luna said. "We may have lost something important when we became so focused on perfection." When Veltar appeared ahead of them, Jake pressed his face against the wall to see better. The planet was even more amazing than the pictures had shown. Floating cities moved slowly through the clouds. Streams of light connected them like bridges across the sky. "How do the cities stay up?" Jake asked. "Gravity control," Zara explained. "We learned to make gravity push instead of pull." "That's impossible," Jake said. Then he laughed. "I guess a lot of things I thought were impossible are turning out to be real." Their ship landed on a platform that extended from one of the floating cities. As they stepped out, Jake felt the artificial gravity holding him down. The air smelled like flowers and rain. A group of Veltaran women waited for them. They were all tall and beautiful, with the same color-changing skin as Zara and Luna. They wore flowing robes that seemed to be made of light itself. "Welcome, Jake." "Miller of Earth," said the woman in front. She was older than the others, with silver markings on her face. "I am Matriarch Kira. We have been waiting for you." Jake felt nervous. All these important-looking women were staring at him. "Hello," he said. "Thank you for having me." "Come," Matriarch Kira said. "The council wishes to meet you." They walked through the city on paths that glowed under their feet. Gardens floated in the air around them, full of plants that Jake had never seen before. Some had flowers that chimed like bells in the breeze. Others had leaves that sparkled like diamonds. The council hall was a huge crystal dome. Inside, dozens of Veltaran women sat in circles around a central platform. They all turned to look at Jake as he entered. "Do not be afraid," Zara whispered to him. "Just be yourself." Matriarch Kira led Jake to the center of the platform. "Council members," she said, "this is the human we have brought to help us, Jake Miller of the planet Earth." A woman with blue markings on her arms stood up. "How do we know he can really help us? He looks so ordinary." Jake felt his face get hot. But before he could speak, Luna stepped forward. "Do not judge by appearance," she said. "I have studied his genetic patterns for 3 days. He has exactly what we need. The chaos factor that we lost." "Chaos is not always good," said another council member. "It can bring destruction." "It can also bring life," said a voice from the back. A woman in a white robe came forward. She was smaller than the others, with kind eyes. "I am Dr. Nix, chief geneticist. I have seen the preliminary scans. This human's DNA contains possibilities we have not seen in our people for 1,000 years. Matriarch Kira raised her hand for silence. "Jake Miller," she said, "do you understand why we need your help?" "I think so," Jake said. His voice echoed. in the dome. Your people are too similar to each other. You need new genetic information to have healthy children. That is correct, and you are willing to help us? Jake looked around at all the faces watching him. He thought about the empty cities he had seen in the ship, the sadness in Luna and Zara's voices when they talked about their dying race. Yes, he said. I want to help. A murmur of relief went through the council. Matriarch Kira smiled. Then we welcome you to Veltar, she said. You will be given the title of Gene Bearer. You will have a place of honor in our society. Over the next few weeks, Jake learned what his new life would be like. He was given a beautiful apartment in the floating city. It had walls that could become transparent to show the view outside, or display any image he wanted. Dr. Nix and her team studied his blood and genetic patterns. They were amazed by what they found. Your species is remarkable, Dr. Nix told him. You have backup systems for everything, multiple ways to solve the same problem. We removed all of that from ourselves because we thought it was wasteful. Maybe it seems wasteful, Jake said, but it keeps us alive when things go wrong. Jake also learned about Veltaran technology. Their computers were grown like plants. Their energy came from crystals that captured starlight. Their transportation used the same gravity control that kept their cities in the air. Your technology is amazing, Jake told Zara one day as they walked through a floating garden. But I think I see some problems. What problems? Zara asked. Jake pointed to an energy crystal that was flickering. That crystal is failing. I can see stress patterns in the light. And the gravity generator under the platform we're standing on is working too hard. The harmonic frequency is wrong. Zara stared at him. How can you see these things? You have no training in our technology. I have training in engineering, Jake said. The principles are the same, just the methods are different. Word of Jake's. Observations spread quickly. Soon engineers from all over the city came to ask his opinion about problems they couldn't solve. Jake found that his human way of thinking helped him see solutions that the Veltarans missed. They were so focused on perfection that they couldn't see simple fixes. You think differently than we do, Dr. Nix told him. You see patterns we cannot see because we trained ourselves to ignore chaos. Chaos isn't always bad, Jake said. Sometimes, it shows you new ways to solve old problems. Jake began working with the engineering teams. He suggested improvements to their energy systems that increased efficiency by huge amounts. He found ways to make their gravity generators more stable. He even helped design new crystal growth patterns that made their computers faster. The council was amazed. They had brought Jake to help with their genetic problems, but he was solving technological problems too. Perhaps this is what we have been missing, Matriarch Kira said. New ways of thinking, fresh perspectives. As Jake proved himself useful, the Veltarans began to treat him with real respect instead of just politeness. They asked his opinions about city planning, resource management, and even art and music. But the most important change was in his relationship with Zara and Luna. They spent more time with him, teaching him about their culture and learning about his. Jake found himself growing closer to both women. On Earth, Jake told them one evening as they watched the sunset from his apartment, men usually bond with only one woman at a time. That seems limiting, Luna said. Why restrict love to just one person? I don't know, Jake said. It's just how we do things. Our way is different, Zara said. When people share a great purpose, they often share their lives too. It makes the bond stronger. Jake was beginning to understand. These weren't just marriages of convenience. The Veltarans truly believed that people who work together for something important should be together in all ways. 3 months after arriving on Veltar, Jake was called to another council meeting. This time he wasn't nervous. He had earned his place here. Jake Miller, Matriarch Kira said, you have exceeded all our expectations. You have not only helped with our genetic research, but you have improved our technology and our thinking. We wish to honor you. What kind of honor? Jake asked. We wish to make you a permanent member of our society, she said. Not just a temporary helper, but a true citizen of Veltar. Jake felt a warm feeling in his chest. These people had become his friends, his family. We also wish to formalize your bonding with Zara and Luna, Matriarch Kira continued. If you are willing. Jake looked at the two women who had brought him here. They had become so much more than just his guides. They were his partners in every way that mattered. Yes, Jake said. I'm willing. The bonding ceremony was beautiful. Jake, Zara, and Luna stood together in the crystal dome while the entire council watched. They spoke words of commitment and shared a drink that tasted like starlight. As they sealed their bond, Jake felt something he had never experienced before, a mental connection to both women. He could sense their thoughts and feelings, and they could sense his. That night, as they celebrated in Jake's apartment, he realized that his old life on Earth felt like a dream. This was his real life now, here among the floating cities, with these amazing people, solving problems and building a future together. I never thought I would find a family again, Jake told his new wives, but you gave me something better than I ever had before. You gave us something too, Zara said. Hope for our future. And a new way of seeing the world, Luna added. At a courtyard, Jake fell asleep that night. Connected to the minds of his bonded partners, he knew he had made the right choice. Earth would always be his birth world, but Veltar was his home. Jake had been living on Veltar for 8 months when the alarm started ringing. He was in Dr. Nix's laboratory, helping her understand how human immune systems worked, when red lights began flashing throughout the city. What's happening? Jake asked. Dr. Nix looked worried. Her color-changing skin had turned dark blue. Those are military alarms. We have not heard them in 50 years. Zara burst into the laboratory. Her face was serious and scared. Jake, Luna, you must come to the council hall immediately. We have a crisis. They rushed through the floating gardens toward the crystal dome. Other Veltarans were moving quickly too, all heading in the same direction. Jake had never seen them. Looked so frightened. In the council hall, Commander Vex stood at the center platform. She was the leader of Veltar's military forces. Jake had met her once before. She was tall and strong, with scars on her arms from old battles. Citizens, Commander Vex said. Our long-range sensors have detected a fleet approaching our system. It is the Korthak Empire. A gasp went through the crowd. Jake didn't know who the Korthaks were, but everyone else looked terrified. Who are the Korthaks? Jake whispered to Luna. A warrior race, she whispered back. They conquer planets and enslave the people who live there. They have destroyed dozens of civilizations. Commander Vex continued speaking. The Korthak fleet is large. 200 ships. They will reach us in 7 days. Matriarch Kira stood up. How many ships do we have? 30, Commander Vex said, and most of our crews are old. We have not fought a real war in generations. What do they want? Someone in the crowd called out. They want our planet, Commander Vex said. Our technology. And they want to make slaves of our people. The Korthaks have learned that our population is small and weak. They think we will be easy to conquer. Jake felt sick to his stomach. These peaceful people had welcomed him into their family. Now someone wanted to hurt them. What are our options? Matriarch Kira asked. We can surrender, Commander Vex said. The Korthaks have sent a message. If we give up without fighting, they will let some of us live as workers. That is not acceptable, Matriarch Kira said firmly. Then we fight, Commander Vex said. But I must be honest. We cannot win. The Korthaks have too many ships and too many soldiers. We might delay them, but we cannot stop them. The council hall became very quiet. Jake could see the despair on everyone's faces. These people had survived for thousands of years, only to face extinction now. Jake stood up. May I speak? Commander Vex looked surprised. You are not military human. No, Jake said, but I know about fighting. On Earth, humans have been fighting wars for thousands of years. We've learned some things about how to win against bigger enemies. Matriarch Kira nodded. Let him speak. Jake walked to the center platform. His heart was beating fast, but he knew he had to try to help. On Earth, Jake said, we call it asymmetric warfare. When you're smaller and weaker than your enemy, you don't fight the way they expect you to fight. Explain, Commander Vex said. The Korthax expect you to meet them in space with your ships lined up like theirs. That's the honorable way to fight, right? Yes, Commander Vex said. It is the way of warriors. But honor doesn't matter if you're all dead, Jake said. What matters is winning. What matters is protecting your people. Some of the council members looked shocked. Fighting without honor was not the Veltaran way. What do you suggest? Matriarch Kira asked. Jake thought about all the technology he had seen on Veltar. All the amazing things these people could do. You have gravity control, he said. You can make things heavy or light. You can make artificial gravity wells. Yes, Commander Vex said. But those are for peaceful purposes. Everything can be a weapon if you use it right, Jake said. Your energy bridges that connect the cities, can you make them solid? Can you make them into cutting tools? Commander Vex's eyes went wide. Perhaps, but that would be unconventional. Unconventional wins wars, Jake said. Your telepathic abilities. Can you use them to confuse enemy communications? We could try, said Dr. Nix. But we have never used our mental gifts for warfare. Then it's time to learn, Jake said. The Korthax won't expect it because they've never seen it before. Over the next few days, Jake worked with Commander Vex and her officers to plan their defense. It was the strangest military planning session in Veltar's history. Your people fight in formations, Jake told Commander Vex. Organized groups with clear leaders, that makes you predictable. How else would we fight? She asked. Like a swarm, Jake said. Small groups working independently. No clear pattern for the enemy to understand. Each group does something different. Jake suggested using their gravity technology to create artificial asteroid fields. The Korthax ships would have to slow down to navigate through them. While they're confused, Jake said, your fastest ships can attack from multiple directions. Hit and run. Don't stay to fight. Just cause damage and disappear. That is not honorable, Commander Vex said. Neither is conquering peaceful planets, Jake replied. They practiced the new tactics with their 30 ships. The Veltaran pilots were not used to this kind of fighting, but they learned quickly. Jake also worked with the engineers to weaponize their peaceful technology. Energy bridges became cutting beams. Gravity generators became crushing weapons. Even their beautiful crystal gardens were turned into mobile weapons platforms. 3 days before the Korthax arrived, Zara came to Jake with news that changed everything. I am pregnant, she said. Jake's world stopped. What? Dr. Nix confirmed it. I carry your child. The first successful Veltaran pregnancy in over a year. Jake sat down hard. He was going to be a father, but his child might be born into a world controlled by enemy soldiers. We have to win, he said. I won't let them hurt you or our baby. We will win, Zara said. You have given us hope. And you have given us new ways to fight. The night before the battle, Jake couldn't sleep. He stood on his apartment balcony looking up at the stars. Somewhere out there, 200 enemy ships were coming to destroy everything he had learned to love. Luna found him there. You are worried, she said. Of course I'm worried, Jake said. What if my plan doesn't work? What if I've given everyone false hope? Then we die fighting, Luna said simply. That is better than dying as slaves. I never thought I'd be planning a war, Jake said. I just wanted to help your people have children. You are helping us, Luna said. You are helping us survive to have those children. Jake felt Luna's mind touch his through their bond. Could sense her calm strength, her absolute faith in him. It helped quiet his fears. Whatever happens tomorrow, Jake said, I want you to know that coming here was the best decision I ever made. It was the best decision for all of us, Luna said. The next morning, the Korthax fleet appeared on the edge of the Veltar system. Jake watched from the military command center as 200 dark ships moved toward their planet like a storm cloud. They are demanding our surrender, the communications officer reported. Send this message, Commander Vex said. Veltar does not surrender. Are you ready? Commander Vex asked Jake. Jake looked around the command center. Dozens of Veltaran officers were watching him, waiting for his signal to begin the strangest battle in their history. Ready, Jake said. Then let us show these Korthaks what happens when they threaten our home, Commander Vex said. The battle for Veltar was about to begin. Jake only hoped that human cleverness would be enough to save the people he had come to love. The Korthak fleet moved into the Veltar system like a dark cloud of death. Jake watched from the command center as the enemy ships spread out in perfect formation. They were confident, expecting an easy victory. They're moving just like we thought they would, Jake said to Commander Vex. Organized, predictable. Phase 1, Commander Vex ordered into her communicator. Around the system, hidden Veltaran gravity generators came to life. Space itself began to bend and twist. Invisible gravity wells appeared in the path of the Korthak fleet. The enemy ships suddenly found themselves pulled off course. Some crashed into each other as their navigation systems failed. Others were thrown into spinning tumbles they couldn't control. What is happening? Came panicked voices over the Korthak communications. Our ships are not responding. Jake smiled grimly. They've never fought anyone who could control gravity before. While the Korthaks struggled to regain control, small groups of Veltaran ships attacked from all directions. They moved like Jake had taught them, quick strikes then disappearing before the enemy could respond. Our weapons are having no effect, a Korthak captain reported. Their ships vanish before we can target them. But there were too many Korthak ships. Even with Jake's tactics, the Veltarans were slowly being overwhelmed. We need to try phase 2, Jake said. Commander Vex nodded. All telepaths prepare for mental attack. Across the Veltaran fleet, dozens of crew members focused their minds on the enemy ships. They had never used their telepathic abilities for warfare before, but desperation made them strong. The Korthaks suddenly found their communications filled with confusion. Orders became unclear. Captains forgot what they were supposed to do. Some ships began attacking their own allies by mistake. This is chaos, the Korthak fleet commander screamed. What kind of weapons are these people using? But even this wasn't enough. The Korthak ships were too strong, their crews too disciplined. Slowly they adapted to the Veltaran attacks. Jake watched as 3 Veltaran ships were destroyed. Then 5 more. His heart sank. All his clever plans weren't working well enough. We need to get to their command ship, Jake said suddenly. If we can confuse their leader, the whole fleet will fall apart. That is suicide, Commander Vex said. The command ship is in the center of their formation, protected by dozens of other ships. Not if we don't try to fight our way through, Jake said. What if we surrender? What? Commander Vex stared at him. Not really surrender, Jake explained quickly. Pretend to surrender. They'll want to capture your leaders alive, right? To make examples of them? Yes, Commander Vex said slowly. It is their way. So we let them capture us, Jake said. A small ship with just a few people. They'll bring us to their command ship to interrogate us. And then? Then we cause chaos. From the inside, Jake said. It was desperate and dangerous, but it might work. Commander Vex agreed to try. 20 minutes later, a small Veltaran ship flew toward the Korthak fleet with its weapons powered down and surrender signals flashing. Inside the ship were Jake, Zara, Luna, and Commander Vex. They had hidden small weapons and devices in their clothing. Veltaran vessel, came a harsh voice over the communications. You will be brought aboard our command ship. Any resistance will result in immediate death. We understand, Commander Vex replied. We wish to negotiate surrender terms. The small ship was pulled into the belly of the huge Korthak command vessel. Jake's heart pounded as armed soldiers surrounded them. The Korthaks were large and gray-skinned with red eyes that glowed in the dark. You will come with us, growled the soldier in charge. Supreme Admiral Grex wishes to speak with you. They were marched through corridors that smelled like oil and metal. Everything was dark and brutal. This was a ship built for war and nothing else. Supreme Admiral Grex was waiting in a chamber full of weapons and battle trophies. He was huge, even for a Korthak, with scars covering his face and arms. "So," Grex said in a voice like grinding stone, "the mighty Veltaran Empire sends 4 people to surrender? How pathetic you have become. We wish to spare our people unnecessary death," Commander Vex said calmly. "Your people will serve us or die," Grex said. "There are no other choices. But you interest me, humans." He stared at Jake with burning red eyes. "We have heard rumors of your species, weak but clever." "Clever enough," Jake said. Grex laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "We shall see. Perhaps we will keep you as entertainment after we conquer your new friends." While Grex gloated, Jake was studying the command center. He could see the communication systems, the navigation controls, the weapons targeting computers. Most importantly, he could see that everything was connected to the central command chair where Grex sat. Jake pretended to stumble and fall. As he got back up, he pressed a small device against the base of Grex's command chair. Luna created a distraction by asking questions about Korthak battle tactics. The device Jake had planted was something Dr. Nix had created, a chaos generator that would disrupt electronic systems with random signals. "Enough talking," Grex said finally. "Take them to the holding cells. We will decide their fate after we finish destroying their fleet." But as the guards moved forward, Jake activated the chaos generator. Every system in the command center went crazy. Lights flashed randomly. The communication system began broadcasting music instead of military orders. The weapons targeting system started locking onto Korthak ships instead of Veltaran ones. "What is happening?" Grex roared. "Computer malfunction, Admiral," his officers reported. "All systems are failing." In the confusion, Jake and his friends fought their way to the communication station. Commander Vex broadcast a message to all Korthak ships. "This is Supreme Admiral Grex. All ships retreat immediately. We are under attack by unknown forces. Retreat to safe distance and await new orders." The message went out in Grex's own voice, copied by Luna's telepathic abilities. Across the Korthak fleet, captains hesitated. The order seemed to come from their supreme commander, but it made no sense. Some ships began to retreat. Others stayed to fight. The perfect Korthak formation fell apart as confusion spread through their ranks. "Imposters!" Grex screamed. "Stop them!" But it was too late. The Veltaran fleet, seeing the enemy in disarray, pressed their attack. Using Jake's hit-and-run tactics, they struck at the confused Korthak ships. In the command center, Jake and Grex faced each other. "You think you have won, human?" Grex snarled. "I will kill you with my bare hands." "I don't think I've won," Jake said calmly. "I know I have." He pointed to the view screen where Grex could see his own fleet retreating in disorder. Some ships were firing on each other by mistake. Others were trying to escape the artificial gravity wells that kept appearing around them. "This is impossible," Grex said. "We are the greatest warriors in the galaxy." "You're good at fighting other warriors," Jake agreed. "But you've never fought anyone who thinks like humans do. We don't fight fair. We fight to win." Grex lunged at Jake with a roar of rage. But Luna was ready. She hit the Korthak commander with a telepathic blast that left him stunned and confused. "Time to go," Commander Vex said. They fought their way back to their ship and escaped from the Korthak command vessel. Behind them, the enemy fleet was falling apart completely. Without clear orders from their leader, the Korthak captains didn't know what to do. Some tried to continue the attack. Others retreated. Most just sat in space, waiting for someone to tell them what to do next. The Veltaran fleet struck again and again, destroying confused enemy ships. Jake's unconventional tactics had worked better than anyone had hoped. By the end of the day, half the Korthak fleet was destroyed. The other half was retreating out of the system in disorder. "They will not return," Commander Vex said, as they watched the last enemy ships disappear into hyperspace. "The Korthaks do not attack planets that can defeat them." The celebration that night was the biggest in Veltar's history. Jake was honored as a hero who had saved their entire civilization. "You did more than save us," Matriarch Kira told him. "You showed us that our old ways of thinking were too limited. You taught us that survival sometimes requires new ideas. 6. Months later, Jake stood in Dr. Nix's medical center, holding his newborn daughter. She was beautiful, with Zara's color-changing skin and Jake's curious eyes. She is healthy, Dr. Nix said with tears of joy. Perfectly healthy, and she is not the only one. We have had 12 successful pregnancies since you arrived. All healthy, children. The genetic chaos is working, Luna said, holding her own newborn son. Our people have a future again. Jake looked at his 2 wives and his children. Around them, the floating city of Veltar sparkled in the light of the setting sun. In the distance, he could see new cities being built, new lives beginning. I never imagined this when I was sitting in my backyard in Denver, Jake said. What, would you change? Zara asked. If you could go back, would you make a different choice? Jake thought about his old life on Earth. The loneliness, the empty house, the job that paid bills but didn't fulfill him. Then he looked at his family and his new home among the stars. Not a thing, he said. This is exactly where I belong. 5 years later, Jake served as Earth's first ambassador to Veltar. Ships traveled regularly between the 2 worlds, sharing knowledge and culture. The Veltaran population had grown to over 200,000, with new cities being built across.